Welcome to Aboriginal Art in America, a podcast where each week we spend a few minutes with a work by an Indigenous Australian artist. WTJU's Garner McGehee spoke with Aboriginal art collection curator Henry Skerritt at the Kluge-Ruhe to learn about a new exhibition titled MAqədAYIN, 8 Decades of Aboriginal Australian Bark Painting from Yirrkala. The project is led by the Yonglu people, an aggregation of Aboriginal Australian people living around Yirrkala in Northern Australia. This week, we dive into the work of Marrnyula Mununggurr, a Yonglu artist who has been commissioned for the exhibition.
So this one's really special to me. Marrnyula Mununggurr. Well, Marrnyula Mununggurr. Marrnyula is one of the kindest, warmest, most beautiful people I have ever met. Visitors to Yirrkala know Marrnyula because she is so welcoming and so generous. And she's always happy to sit with visitors and talk to them and explain. Marrnyula's been, over her career, has been an incredible innovator. She began working in the 1990s, and a lot of her early works were paintings of camp life, life around Yirrkala. I think in 88, she did a fairly racy poster for an anti-AIDS campaign called Love Me Safely. But in her later life, as she's gotten older and a little less mobile, she has started to work on these kind of complex paintings made up of multiple parts, and she calls them Puzzlework paintings, where rather than working on one large sheet of bark, she wanders around the art centre and she picks up the little scraps and offcuts of other people's barks. She just collects them all up, and in her spare time she'll sit and quietly work on these little scraps. Some of them some of them are only matchbox size, and some of them are, maybe the size of a letter sheet of paper. And she sits and works on them, and then once she's got a kind of a critical mass of them, she starts to lay them out and shift them around, and that's really fun. I've had some really wonderful time sitting with her as she kind of moves them along the floor, starting to see what they're making for her. And so in this instance, she's made this giant grid. I think it must be one of the biggest that she's done. It's a giant grid made up of 299 small paintings. And each of those small paintings is a grid. So it's like a grid made out of grids in a grid. But she's referring back to a really important and sacred story of her clan, which is the Japu clan. And it's a story that relates to a fish trap that was made in the ancestral times, in the Wanga or the Dreaming. And this net was made to catch Mana, the ancestral shark. But he was so powerful and angry that he shakes and he breaks the net, but he shifts the course of the river. And so that part of the river where the Japu clan live is called Wundarwoi, which literally means the head. The head, right? It's the shark's head. And so in initiation ceremonies, young boys in the Japu clan would have this grid painted on their chest, and the cross-hatching in the grid is the waters moving and the flash of Mana's eye and the light on the trap and all of these different varied meanings. But here she's sort of blown it out big, and she's using the grid that she paints to be part of this, but she's also, allowing space around it. So there's a kind of an organic shimmer of the water. And if you look closely, some of them have fish caught in the trap. But at the top, there's Mana, like he's just about to break through, hiding there. And you would probably not notice it if you didn't look really closely. But it's a painting that really makes you look closely, because you can't take in every piece individually as well as the whole thing. So you've kind of got to go in and look carefully at each individual painting, and each one is beautiful. And then you step back and you see this totality, you see this whole fish trap that looms. And it's, but it's also kind of a nice metaphor for, I don't know, like for Marrnyula, right? Like for Marrnyula embraces everyone. So it's like this family of little barks that are all there, that she's brought together and made into something really big and really, really special. And so I love it.
The exhibition will travel around the United States beginning in September of 2022 and will be the first major survey of Aboriginal bark paintings ever staged outside of Australia. Marrnula's paintings, along with contributions from other artists, will be accompanied by an extensive media component, including video, audio recordings, and archival photographs, all developed by the Aboriginal Media Unit at Yirrkala, called the MAԿA Project. Aboriginal Art is a production of the University of Virginia and a member of the Virginia Audio Collective. Listen and subscribe at virginiaaudio.org.